Hello everyone. So in the previous video, we have discussed about validation of your startup idea. In this video, we will get into the details of how the initial product development and MVP has to be actually done on the ground. Okay, so what exactly you need to do is that in order to you have to understand the product development life cycle, okay, in order to understand the MVP approach. Now, product development life cycle is something which is applicable to any kind of a product. It can be a software product, it can be a physical product, okay, or it can be a service. Okay, so don't get confused with the term product. Here means that any offering that you have either as a product or as a service. But when I am talking about the life cycle, just focus on the life cycle part. Okay, here you have to focus. So first part is that you have to focus on the research part, that you have to do the initial market research, do the user interviews and competitive analysis, like competition analysis you have to do to deeply understand your target audience and their pain points. So this is the homework that you have to do. Now, how you can do it, I have discussed this in details in the previous video. If you have missed anything, you can again revisit and see that how you have to do your research. Okay, now comes the next part, which is the design part. So based on the research, based on the initial problems that user is facing and you have observed, based on the research that you have done, you have to ideate, you have to create a prototype, you have to refine it, and your product concept should be something which gives a seamless user experience. Again, this I have discussed that the UI UX of that waste management app should be good. Okay, if you remember that example. So that comes under design phase, that when you are creating your initial prototype, always have empathy sessions with the users, always have some like close connects. You should connect and take their feedback. And if you see that yes, this problem exists, and if you resolve this problem in a particular way, people are going to pay you for that. Once this is done, design the prototype, and then you have to start developing your prototype. Okay, then you have to give it a life. Your idea has to get a life. Okay, in services generally it is really easy, but in case of the goods, in case of the software platforms, SaaS or PaaS, like platform as a service or software as a service, it generally takes some time to come up with your final idea as a prototype. Okay, so first you have to finalize your idea based on your detailed research, user feedbacks, interviews, and after that you will develop your offering. That offering can be in the form of service, it can be in the form of a software or a platform as a service product, or it can be in form of a goods, physical goods. Okay, and this is something that you have to follow as a agile thing. I think we have discussed this earlier also. Agile means that you have to continuously evolve as a solution. Okay, whether a service or a software or product. Okay, why am I repeating these terms? Because you don't get confused between the product thing. Product means whatever you are offering to the customer. Okay, so defining your product vision and target market. So product vision clearly defines your product purpose. Okay, so your vision should be clear. So whenever any product has to be developed, either a good service or a software, you should have a clear product vision, that why you are creating it and what purpose is it is going to solve, what are its key features, okay, and the value it is going to bring for the ultimate consumer. Then comes the target market. Okay, target market is your ideal customer persona, and based on the pain points, based on the needs, and based on the specific problems of that target market, you are going to create your product vision. And the competitive landscape, you have to see that if competition exists, so what are the things that competition is not able to address and which you can address in a better way. Definitely client is going to pay a premium if in case you are providing them more value than your competition, and high chances that they will switch on from their current service provider or a platform to you. Then comes the conducting market research and user interviews. Again, we have discussed this in depth in our previous video, but still I am just reiterating it. You have to do market research by gathering proper data through industry reports. I have discussed that earlier also, that you have to put up all these research reports, links, etc. in your business plan also. Okay, you will see this in maybe in the upcoming video also. Okay, then comes the customer preferences, then comes the potential pain points. So all these things you will be in a better position to jot them if you had done a proper market research. Now market research can be done as a primary research, like you are directly interacting with someone, or it can be done as a secondary research, like you are relying on some reports which are authentic reports. Okay, so both ways market research can be. Then comes user interviews. So as I mentioned, primary research. So if you take user interviews directly, it will come as a primary research, and you are connecting with your target customers to understand their needs and pain point directly. It is considered as the best way to do it. But in case you don't have time, money, or you can't spend this much effort, then definitely you can rely on the secondary research as well. Okay, competitor analysis. Again, for competitor analysis, you can talk to the customers of competition. Okay, you can evaluate their strength, weaknesses, and you can see their Google reviews, maybe mouth shut reviews, or other platforms wherever the reviews are provided by the users who are not happy with them. So this is the best way to create your offering, that you just evaluate that what all problems are highlighted on all social media channels, like maybe comments of YouTube channel, maybe comments of LinkedIn post, or a Facebook advertisement, or Google review, or any other review site, Trustpilot, etc. Okay, you will see that if you are able to catch up on all the negative points and you bring up your solution offering, addressing all those common major problems that are highlighted by their existing users, ultimately it is the easiest way to get the initial customers. So note this down, this is really important for you. Okay, then comes the validation. So use the insights that you have gathered to validate your product concept and refine your strategy. So how you will do it? So you have to do what? You have to get the insights based on the validation of your product concept. Again, for doing this, you have to connect with the customer, you have to get their feedback, and based on their feedback you will get this validation done. This we have discussed already in our previous discussion as well. Ideating and prototyping your product. Okay, so what happens is that you have to do ideation. So brainstorming and generating a wide range of product ideas and features to address your target market is a must. Okay, so in this picture also you can see that these people are discussing themselves. Okay, suppose you don't have a team, you don't have other people around you, even you don't have other people, like a co-founder is also not there, you are a solopreneur. What will happen in that case? You can use AI tools, you can use the other Google reviews and other things that I just mentioned. Okay, so for you as a solopreneur, that can be used. But in case you have other people around you, you can even discuss things with your partners, life partner, or maybe a family member if you are around them, and you can pitch your idea to them as well, that this is what you are planning to do. Definitely the people who are very close to us, दे थिंक दैट ये पागल हो गया है, ये ऐसी ऐसी बातें करने लगा है, इसको हर नए दिन कोई बिजनेस शुरू करने का बात करना होता है, एंड करता कुछ है नहीं, है ना, बस डिस्कस करता रहता है. तो इफ दैट इज योर सिचुएशन, देन आई विल नॉट रिकमेंड यू टू डू दैट. In that case, you just use AI tools, you use online forums, you may use LinkedIn, Twitter to get some initial feedback from people, है ना. Like if you are launching some course, okay, so you can get idea about the name of course through social media platform. Key prioritization has to be done. Like once you do the ideation, you need to prioritize, and you need to first evaluate, okay, that this is you are going to do. Then you will see, okay, feature 1 has to be done this way, feature 2 this way, feature 3. So you have to create a sequential kind of a action plan, and if things can be deployed without few features and you can test your idea, go with that. Okay, don't try to embed all the features in the very first release. Okay, that is the prioritization thing, and it is applicable not only in the initial stage but at every stage of your product life cycle. Even if it is deployed, people are using it, always give preference to those items or those features which are must, and without which your sales are getting reduced. Okay, so plan things in such a way so that your priorities are set. Always do a P1, P2, P3 kind of a categorization while doing the prioritization. And then comes the prototyping part. So create low fidelity prototypes to test your product concept. Why? Because if you try to come up with everything, again same point as I mentioned in prioritization, if you have minimal features, you are creating the prototype with minimum features, then you are facing then you are definitely following what you are following the MVP approach. But if you have everything, you are trying to put everything in the prototype itself, you are following a big bang approach, which is not recommended at all. And this we discussed in length in the previous video, hai na? This we have already discussed at length. Okay, then comes the iteration. Continuously you have to refine your product based on the user feedback. You have to aim to deliver the best possible solution. Now if you are doing it good, if you are not doing it, definitely you are going to face problem. And this again, iteration is something which should be continuously happening. ओके, इट्स नॉट दैट कि एमवीपी स्टेज पे आपको करना है उसके बाद नहीं करना. इफ यू आर नॉट टेकिंग फीडबैक फ्रॉम द मार्केट about your product, you are not putting those feedbacks in the product improvisation, you will bear the consequences, because ultimately customers will not buy your product in the long run. Okay, so steps to build MVP and launch your MVP, how you have to do. So first thing is that you have to design it. Design comes through our thoughts. Okay, so first, thoughts should be there about doing something, and you have to finalize that how the user interface will look like and how the experience will be there. Okay, if it is a software platform, so this example we have taken here is for a SaaS platform, but same thing applies to a physical product also. Similarly, workflow applies to a service, that how a user will come to you either through a website or through a Google Meet link or a Zoom link. Okay, or how you will reach out to the customer. So entire flow has to be designed. So first thing is that when you are thinking about what is your offer, okay, here we are taking SaaS example. In case you are a service provider, I'll give you a service provider example. You have to think through this flow, that how you are going to showcase your service. Definitely you need to either create a web page. Okay, you will create a website for this, because that is the best way to showcase about your service. Now you have created that web page should reach to your target audience, so that they show interest if they are interested in your service. So initially you can give some free trials also, and you can take their feedback also, that while reading your web page or reading your website, what they understood. Okay, once you are giving them the service, after that you take their feedback. If you have provided them good service, even if not, take their feedback, try to improvise, take some reviews from them, and genuine reviews should be there. Eventually what will happen, you will start getting referrals also. Plus you can use other tools like email marketing, WhatsApp marketing, or social media page you can post. So through that also you will get. So say suppose LinkedIn page, you create your LinkedIn page in such a way so you then get the leads directly from LinkedIn itself. So it is up to you that how you showcase yourself as a brand, as a service provider. And I'll tell you about my personal thing. Initially when we started legalsuvidha.com back in 2016, it is completely a bootstrap startup. We just spent around 6-7 thousand, created a website, and it was a very huge website at that time. Around 150 to 200 pages are there. Currently also it's a very heavy website. How we did that? We use interns to develop it. Okay, similarly you can also use interns, you can use like other developers, or you can even take our help also. And we have another entity where we provide these services to the startups. Now comes the main part, that website ban gaya, how you will reach to people. So we have utilized Facebook. Okay, we have, at that time Facebook was much in use, so we use Facebook groups. So we got initial reach, we got customers also. So initial customers we got through social media only. Okay, then we started providing them services, we took their feedbacks, and you will like also be getting the opportunities from some big competitors also. Like we also got some assignments from the big competitors and their team, because they, so sometime what happens is, like there is another company called Vakil Search. Okay, so they were doing GST registration, but they don't have a capacity to do it. What they have done, they have given their GST registration to us. 100 or 150 registration we did for them. Okay, so if you start telling about yourself to people, even competitors can give you work. Okay, and it's not a joke, it will happen with you, you will eventually see. It's just that you have to throw the stone in the air with this aim that it go to the sky. Okay, you will definitely get a result. Okay, now coming back to our software example, that how you will build and launch your MVP. So designing, you have to do the designing first. It will be done in your mind, then you have to jot down it. Now it is very easy to design things. You can use AI even to design your mockups. Okay, second, development, you have to implement the core functionality of your product using an agile approach. Okay, again I am saying same thing. Agile approach means the basic minimum feature. First release क्या होगा, second release क्या होगा, third release क्या होगा, this you can plan in the initial phase itself, so that while giving demo to the user also, you can clearly tell them, yes, this is what we are releasing now, this is in the coming in the next release, which is planned on so and so date, and this will be coming on the third release. Next two releases भी आपके पास होंगे, it will work. Then testing part, whatever you are giving as a first release, always make sure कि उसको आपने at least ढंग से test किया हो, because if it is not tested, if it is not gone through the user acceptance testing mechanism, you will fail. Okay, so you need to either get it tested through actual set of users which are closely working with you, or you need to hire some testing person to test it. Now comes the product example. If in case of product I am talking about all these things, then the launch part. So once your first release is ready, you can launch it and you can deploy your MVP to small targeted groups for the user and gather their feedback. Now अभी इसका एक counter view भी है that is not covered here. So there is a company called Dropbox. ठीक है, सो ड्रॉपबॉक्स ने क्या किया था, इवन विदाउट लॉन्चिंग एनी प्रोडक्ट, ठीक है, दे हैव गॉट 75,000 यूजर्स फॉर देयर प्रोडक्ट इवन विदाउट लॉन्चिंग प्रोडक्ट. ठीक है, तो आप ये जरूर गूगल करना कि हाउ ड्रॉपबॉक्स हैज गॉट दिस. मींस कंपनीज even without launching a product also get initial customers. How they get it? Generally they create only one single landing page. Okay, उस पे वो दे देते हैं कि this is we are going to develop, this will be the offering. You just provide your email ID. For first 100 subscriber or 1000 subscriber, we will give free access, this and that. And based on that only they collected 75,000 users data. Okay, तो ऐसा आप भी कर सकते हैं in case of softwares. Even in case of product आप ऐसा कर सकते हैं. करेक्ट. सर्विसेज में तो इसकी जरूरत ही नहीं है बिकॉज फ्रॉम डे वन यू कैन स्टार्ट प्रोवाइडिंग सर्विस, बट फॉर प्रोडक्ट्स आइदर अ गुड्स और सॉफ्टवेयर यू कैन फॉलो द सेम केस स्टडी. ड्रॉप बॉक्स की आप केस स्टडी को, क्योंकि वो काफी लंबा हो जाएगा अगर मैं उसको अभी डिस्कस करूंगा. सो आई जस्ट वांट टू फोकस माई सेल्फ ऑन दी टॉप प्रायोरिटी फीचर्स पहले रखने हैं, देन सेकंड प्रायोरिटी, देन थर्ड प्रायोरिटी, और अलग अलग जो रिलीजेस है इन दैट you have to release the product. Okay, then comes first you have to plan, prioritize the features, build, test, feedback. Same cycle, repetition you have to do on the next feature, next set of feature. That is what agile approach is. Okay, now gathering feedback and iterating. Again same thing that I have just told you. User feedback lenge, you will analyze. See, user feedback you can ask face to face or you can analyze using data and metrics. क्या होंगे metrics? इस केस में ये होगा कि एरिया ऑफ इंप्रूवमेंट और ऑप्टिमाइजेशन आप देख सकते हैं. जैसे इन केस ऑफ वेबसाइट आप लैंडिंग पेज पे देखेंगे कि हीट मैप करके एक फैसिलिटी होती है, तो हीट मैप से पता लग जाता है where the most clicks are coming. So accordingly you can modify your design. Page design आप वैसे कर सकते हैं. Iteration, again iteration is incorporating the feedback and data insights to refine your product and deliver better user experience. है ना. तो iteration again इसका एक एग्जांपल ये हो सकता है, जैसे मैं वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट ऐप की बात कर रहा था. तो आपका टारगेट है कि आपको मेक श्योर करना है कि जो भी कूड़ा करकट है you will collect from the home and it will be sent to the dump yard within 8 hours. को ट्रैक करने के लिए you will see whether it is happening in 8 hours or not. If it is not happening in 8 hours, it is happening in say 18 hours, तो वो जो 10 hours का गैप है जिसको आपको आगे प्रोसेसिंग के लिए देना होगा उसको प्रॉब्लम होगा, है ना. That again you have to improve. So that is what iteration is. You have to improve the way you are delivering your service. Okay, measuring and analysis user engagement. This is what I was talking about in the previous example. Okay, so first you have to do user acquisition, number of new users signing up for your product. Retention rate means this is the most important thing for any startup. Why I am saying this is important? Because if you are acquiring user but you are not retaining user, so you need to see this particular thing. I am forcing you to look into this particular thing, but your product is not designed in such a way that it's a subscription based product or a repeatability is there in that product, definitely there will be a problem. So always see your model in such a way that a customer once acquired, how you can upsell, cross sell, or make them your subscriber. If that kind of thing is there in your business model, now business model we are going to discuss in the next video, so you can see that what are the business model. But while designing your business model, make sure कि जो आपकी customer के साथ, that you have to make sure through your customer feedback mechanism, marketing efforts, advertisement efforts, whatever you do. अगर आप वो $20 के पेड वर्जन एक बार चलाना, okay, then comes the engagement. यूजर का जो engagement होगा ना, that is something that need to be there. Engagement generally comes with your like internal approach, that how you interact once a customer is converted, once a service is delivered. You should have a proper customer feedback mechanism. Also, if there are any product updates, feature updates, or anything, any offers, you have to continuously engage and share them, okay, with the customer. Then comes the conversion rate. You have to like closely analyze this. Okay, when you are running some say paid campaign through Facebook or LinkedIn or any social media, so you need to make sure that your funnel should be designed in such a way so that conversions are continuously there. A flow of lead should always be there in your pipeline. Proper nurturing of lead should happen, and always try to optimize this cycle. Like if initially the lead is getting converted in say 30 days, to make sure कि वो 30 days की cycle को कम कैसे कर सकते हैं. Secondly, always make sure that the team on the sales side, okay, they are well trained. तो कन्वर्जन रेट जो है ना, अगर सेल की टीम अच्छे से ट्रेंड होगी, मोटिवेटेड होगी, फॉलोअप्स अच्छे होंगे, ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर इन प्लेस, डेफिनेटली you will have a good conversion rate. If these things are not in place, your funnels are not working properly, you are not tracking things, then there will be a problem, है ना. So you have to analyze, track, and this current age in which we are working in 2024, okay, we are sitting on 20th August 2024, okay. So now if you are going to create anything, any business, whether MSME, startup, solopreneur, if you are not tracking your metrics properly, you are not managing your cash flows properly, you are not analyzing that what you are making as a profit, and as a founder you are not withdrawing any salary from the business or professional fee from the company, definitely it will be going to be a challenge for you, because business of you have to make some money out of it. Okay, so that's why I was talking about the प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी पार्ट फ्रॉम द वेरी फर्स्ट वीडियो. और आप आगे की भी जो कंटेंट देखेंगे ना, उसमें भी आपको समझ में आ जाएगा कि मैं ये क्यों बोल रहा था. खास करके जो मार्केटिंग सेल्स वाली जो वीडियोस है ना, यू हैव टू कंटिन्यूसली एंगेज विद दोज लीड्स. एंड थर्ड थिंग इज ऑपरेशन. यू हैव टू डिलीवर योर सर्विस ऑन टाइम, प्रोडक्ट ऑन टाइम, गुड्स ऑन टाइम, एंड यू हैव टू टेक द कस्टमर फीडबैक एंड जस्ट रिपीट दिस इन द इनिशियल स्टेज. दिस हैज टू बी डन. वो इनिशियली आपका एचआर और एडमिन वाला थोड़ा बहुत. ओके, सो now I'll just quickly wrap it up. So you can see here ki scaling your product based on user feedback. Okay, so identify the growth opportunities, prioritize and plan, implement carefully, monitor and optimize. मैं तो इसको रीड कर रहा हूँ, है ना, रीड ही कर रहा हूँ वैसे, but I'll just go step by step. So first thing is that you have to do what? You have to scale your product based on the user feedback. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap it up here. Scaling your product based on user feedback. We have already discussed this in length, that user feedback you have to take. Now you have to identify the growth opportunities. You have to analyze the user feedback and data to identify new feature, functionality or market segment to expand into. Okay, means if you are providing a particular product or service, user is asking for additional services which are closely related to that. So you will see whether you can provide it through your existing team. If not, how you can provide it, whether through a vendor tie-up. Okay, this is what you have to do. So this is how you grow. Because initially when we started as Legal Suvidha, we had only 5-6 services. Now we have 105 services. Okay, so how it happened over the period, we have evolved as an organization, and now what we are going to do is we may add or we may divide our. So now what we are going to do is, because 105 काफी ज्यादा होता है, so we will be creating all functions under different business segments. So we are going to do business segmentation very soon, है ना, like accounting, finance, startup compliance, startup funding, pitch deck, service. Okay, so service wise segmentation we will be doing very soon, because now things are getting expanded. Okay, then comes prioritization and planning. So you have to carefully prioritize the growth initiatives based on their potential impact. Okay, now if you are taking a vendor service, you should have a proper NDA with them. Okay, also you need to see that if you are hiring someone internally, whether you have capabilities to train them to deliver that service. If yes, then do it. If you don't have, then always have a vendor tie-up. Okay, and main thing is you have to prioritize this. Means if you want to focus on scaling of existing offering, maybe you can avoid this particular thing for next 3 to 6 months. Okay, so this is something you have to do as per your current organization structure, your people, your team, as well as the demand of customer. If demand is very high, do a vendor tie-up, deliver that service, do a NDA with that vendor, so that directly अगर provide करने लग जाएगा, maybe that customer go for all service to that vendor. So that you have to make sure. Then implement it carefully. That I have already told you. Continuously you have to refine the offering. Then monitor and optimize. Always monitor, optimize that whatever growth initiatives you are taking, whatever adjustments you are doing, that are leading to the ultimate success of your organization. That is what you have to make sure. Okay, so hope you have more clarity on the MVP approach now. And in the next video, we'll discuss about the modeling of your business, because I think this was a good session for you, and hope you have some good learning from here. Thank you.